Yo, schoolers! In this video, I want to talk about MRR versus ARR. And this might actually be a little bit of like a controversial topic on Skool because we're all in this community on Skool, on this awesome platform. Most of us are using MRR, including myself last year, like going very hard into MRR. But there is an alternative that we can use on this platform, which is like we can sell annual. And there's not a lot of people talking about it. And I think it's important to talk about it because of many reasons, which I want to bring up in this video. I think MRR is great, but I think annual is actually greater. I think it's a lot better, especially in the beginning. And also, if we want to make money, like I think most of us on this platform are here because we want to make money in a fun way. Money is never going to go away. We always want to make more money, right? And I think it's better. I don't want to use the word easier because it's not necessarily easier, but I think it's a lot better model for us to start out as entrepreneurs when we want to make money with this awesome platform called Skool to sell annual. And I want to cover all of that in this video because, so here we have the presentation, why I ditched MRR for ARR and how I made over $230,000 in April with Skool. And I did that with annual. And I'm going to break down exactly how we did that and why I think you should at least consider annual. All right? Because I've done both now. I did monthly and I've done annual. And here's basically what I think, right? So the agenda, I want to talk about Skool MRR, I want to talk about Skool ARR, and then I want to give you my conclusion to this as well, right? So here's the thing. So here you can see my payouts, right? This is like as of today, I just took this. So you can see our MRR says $97 or $97,000, right? But here's the payout from last month. So you can see it's $232,000 in payouts in April. But wait, like, doesn't it say 97K here? Like, how is that possible? It says 97K, but I got paid $232,000 last month. Also, you can see that my churn is down to under 5% now. It used to be like 20%. So how is this possible? Well, I moved from Skool MRR over to Skool ARR. But pretty much everyone on Skool right now is very heavily focused on the MRR. And I'm not saying that MRR is bad by any means at all. Obviously, it's working. There's a lot of people on this platform who made a lot of money with MRR. I made a lot of money last year with MRR. But there are some drawbacks to it. And I think the ARR selling annual that we can do on this platform. And now Skool has even increased, like you can charge up to 10K on this platform now. So it's not like Skool doesn't want you to charge annual. The option is still there, but it's a very heavily focused on monthly right now. And I want to kind of break this, how should you call it? Like I want to break some beliefs regarding MRR and also let you guys know about ARR because it's actually pretty damn good. So I want to break it down for you. So MRR is great, but ARR is also pretty damn good. And I think it's a lot better, right? I would argue that RR is easier model to run or easier, but I think I actually think it's easier if I'm allowed to use that word, all right? Especially for beginners. And most of all of us in this community, on Skool, in the Skoolers community and on this platform, most of us are beginners. There are some entrepreneurs out there who have been doing a lot of stuff for a long time, but most of us here are starting out as beginners and we want to make money online. That's why we're here, right? And yeah, so I think ARR is just better. Let me explain, right? So first, let's talk about Skool MRR, right? Let's break this down, right? So Skool MRR is 10 out of 10 difficulty. Running a business. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from somebody. I recently started to learn from an individual who's made over $50 million in online course sales, right? And he sold stuff worth over $100 million in digital products, but 50 million in online course sales. And he said this, and he's done all of this, MRR, mid-ticket, selling in an automated way, and also high-ticket ARR or annual. And he said that selling something low-ticket for monthly, it's tough. It's 10 out of 10 difficulty. Why? Well, churn is hard. Churn kills, right? So with 20% churn, let's say, which is actually pretty good, right? Customers leave after like every 5 months, right? So at $100 per month, your LTV is $500, right? You work hard to get them, then you lose them fast. Churn makes growth feel impossible. And here's really when I started to understand how painful churn can be. If you have very low churn, that's amazing. And I know that there are communities on this platform who have very low churn for monthly. But it's not easy to get there. It is not. And sometimes we're also undervaluing ourselves. We're selling something extremely valuable for like a super low monthly fee, right? And when I started to realize this was basically from last year. I launched my first paid Skool community January 15 last year. And then in December, I had been going all in with Skool essentially, right? I had been selling, and it was monthly. So the community itself made $1.3 million last year. We had like 3,500 customers, close maybe even to 4,000 people going through my community. And my churn was high in the beginning, and then we got it down to like 20%-ish. But we had people leaving after like 3-4 months, and they were paying like $100 per month. And me and my team, we busted our butts off. Truly, we worked super hard. We won the Skool games 4 times. I was able to win the first one myself, right? Then I won as an affiliate. Then I was an affiliate for another winner, Jesper. And then we competed in the Battle Royale thing, right? Where you compete against all the winners. And we also was, up until this point, we've been able to have like 35 other people to win the Skool games as well. So we went, and then I started out myself. And then eventually we were 4 guys working on this, like just all in, competing in games over and over and just pushing it. And we pushed like almost 4,000 people through our community. And then I realized, if I want to grow this business, if I want to like continue to make another million next year, 1.3 million next year, right? And also, if I'm going to keep this sustainable, I will have to do everything that I did this past year, basically going absolute bananas, plus more. I was like, if I want to double the business, do I have to do what I did last year, double that? It was just like, I was like, there must be another way, right? And that's what I started to understand, how churn is like, you have to, if you're going to do MRR model, you have to fix churn. And it's not necessarily easy, right? Also short window, time span, right? So most people only stay for like 3 to 4 months. Even if they get great results, they leave before you can turn them into case studies and like real community leaders, right? And also getting testimonials and results and case studies and all of this. You can have somebody in your community. I'd call this like the look back window. I actually learned this from Dylan, who is on my team. We call it like the look back window. You can have like 3 months with amazing results for your clients, right? And then the 4th month, they're going through your course for 3 months. They're like, oh, this is amazing. I'm paying $100 per month, blah, blah, blah. And then the 4th month, they're like, oh, but now I completed the course. And all right, well, the people are here nice, but I've actually completed everything. I kind of squeezed the juice out of this community. And yeah, I don't know, like $100. Should I just continue to pay $100 just because to be nice? I don't know. I'm just going to leave. I got what I wanted in here, and then I'm out. That was my experience. People kind of get the info, then they leave. And I know that the communities that are more holistic, that are like built around hobbies and stuff, they're normally lower priced as well. So maybe they're not $100 per month. They're normally like sub $50 per month. But then people keep paying because they want to be there because it's a hobby, right? And I think MRR is amazing for that. But if you want to like build something more, like make money with, like you making money with the hobby is cool, right? But I think also a lot of people on this platform are here because they want to build businesses and make money from it. And selling something extremely valuable in terms of a course and charging very low ticket with it can be tough, because we had people coming in last year, paid like $300, learned everything that we had in our course, took that information and started making tens of thousands of dollars per month. We had people making like 20, 30, 40, 50. But we had a customer who made $1 million a month, right? And that's not entirely because of us. Absolutely not. He's extremely talented and but his entire community that he built, that he eventually started selling for annual, by the way, for $5K, he learned a lot from that from us. And he paid us like $300 for that, which is like crazy, right? So it's insane. But not even him, like other people who made like tens of thousands of dollars paid us like a couple of $100 because they got info and then they were out, right? So yeah, so the look back windows is very small. They get great results for 4 months, and then the 5 months are like, oh, I already got everything, and then they leave, right? And then you can't keep them in there. You can't get testimonials. You can't build community around them, right? Info fatigue as well, right? It's like charging monthly for a book, right? Once they finish it, they will cancel. If your offer is just information, retention will always be a struggle, right? Imagine if I had the book, right? I don't have, imagine if I sold you a book and you read the book, and now I'm charging you monthly for it after you've read the book. Imagine if in my bookshelf, if I paid monthly for my books, it would be insane, right? So it can't just be, if you're selling like an info business, like a course and make money from the course mainly, it will be tough with MRR. If you're selling a community around a hobby, I think it's easier, but then it's probably a bit more low ticket as well, right? Low commitment as well, like low price attacks a low buy-in as well, right? One of my mentors who sold, as I said, $50 million in the info space, low ticket MRR, he said that is like 10 out of 10 difficulty because the customers aren't like truly invested. He said like, he sells something super high ticket, which he does like a screen recording like this one, and he charges a lot of money for it. People love it. And then he creates like extremely high production videos and he charges like less than $50 for it, and people think it's a scam. So people who invest less will always be less invested. If they invest more, they will be more invested as well because they put a lot of money into it, right? So now they want to complete the course. Now you will also keep them for a full year. So now they will actually do what you teach, and then you can get testimonials and results from that as well, right? Also traffic heavy, no sales calls. Like it means that your funnel has to convert cold traffic at scale, right? You need new eyeballs every single month because churn never stops eating your base, free to paid auto funnel, right? So this is what I did last year and what I taught a lot of people to do as well. You have like a free community into low ticket paid community, which is great because you can convert people from a free into paid community without sales calls. And it works 100%. It's just that you need, like, first of all, it never stops. You need a lot of traffic, right? And also what I noticed last year is that a lot of people don't want to have this free community. I think it's one of the best assets you can have to have a free community. I grew my Skool community free one to like over 100,000 people. It's a great asset to have. It's amazing. But if you're going to do this thing where you convert people automatically, some people don't want a free community. So now you're left with only a paid. So now you need to like convert people into your paid automatically. And if it's low ticket and a hobby thing, you can use like YouTube channels to just convert people in there, right? But if you're selling something for like $100, $200 per month, just sending traffic to Skool About page, it can work, but it's kind of hard. It is hard. And you also need a bunch of traffic because it's still low ticket, right? So you constantly need, it's very traffic heavy. And we lived it, right? We sold this low ticket community last year to over like 3,500 people. I think it was close to 4,000 people. It's quite a lot of people to convert, right? And we won the Skool games 4 times. We helped 35 other people win. But to just maintain revenue, we had to like sprint nonstop, right? And it's hard to scale a low ticket one without massive traffic. You need a lot of traffic. And you also need to build everything so that you have to convert them without calls, right? So MRR sounds really, really good. And it is amazing if you have low churn, but churn is the tough thing to figure out. And if you have a holistic community around a hobby and it's more low ticket, I think it's easier, right? If you have a very, very strong community, I think it works really, really good. But a lot of people also on this platform are trying to sell info, right? You're selling info to make money from selling info. And info is like, the info that you're selling is like your main thing, right? And the community becomes an add-on that makes it even better. But people are not necessarily going to stay in there for the community. They're going to stay, they're buying into because of your information, right? And then once they've completed the info, which takes like maybe 3 or 4 months, then they're out, right? So like, this is basically how we did it last year. It's like you use traffic, you run it to a free community, and you have to build this process that is auto-converting them the sales for, right? You're not doing any sales calls, and then you sell for like 50 to, I would say, even $200 per month, right? And use a paid Skool community. This is like what most people do. And this is what I taught last year as well. Like this is what I did myself as well last year, right? So now let's talk about annual recurring revenue. Let's talk about that. So annual recurring revenue is a 2 out of 10 difficulty. Why? And again, don't take my word for that. This is what I learned from this individual who made over $50 million in the info space. He said like selling high ticket is 2 out of 10 difficulty. It's a lot more elegant business model. MRR is 10 out of 10 difficulty because it's lower ticket. You need a lot more traffic, and you also have churn to battle every single month, right? So let's break this down. So high ticket offers, instead of selling like $100 per month, we sell a yearly access to your Skool community, right? For like $2,500 per year. You have fewer clients, bigger payments, and way more revenue per sale. And they also stay in the community for a full year. And I would say $2,500 per year, like you can charge up to 10K on the Skool community platform, right? And there's a bunch of other cool stuff you can do as well that like, that's what I'm going to talk about here in a second, right? But this is like the gist of it, right? Instead of selling month per month, you sell a more high price per year, right? And to do this, we use a very simple call funnel, right? So we get people on a call, we present the offer, we answer the questions, and we close them into a 12-month subscription, right? So we get paid up front, right? And this is what everybody's done in the info space since, like, the call funnel is nothing new. It's been here forever, and there's reason for it because it works. And that is why people do it, because you sell high ticket with a call funnel, right? And I'm almost feeling myself that I'm going against the grain here on Skool, because we've been so focused on MRR, right? But Skool is an amazing platform to host a community and a course on. And like, Skool has even increased the price from like $1,000 to $10,000 that you can charge right now. So the platform is built. It's built to be able to do this, right? Financing BNPL. This is really cool as well. A lot of you guys will not know about this. BNPL stands for buy now, pay later, right? So BNPL tools allows us to offer low monthly payments on high ticket prices. So we get paid in full while customers feel like it's low ticket. This is a game changer. So what we can do with this is that you can sell something high ticket for a low monthly price. So you can sell something for $5,000, but people pay monthly payments on it. It's like financing, right? If you replace your roof, the roofer will come to your house and say, yeah, replace your roof is gonna cost $15,000 on this house that you have. Most people out there cannot pay $15,000 up front, right, to replace a roof. So what do? They start working with a financing company, and then the homeowner can pay $300 per month to pay off the roof, while the roofer gets all of the money up front, excluding some fees, because the financing company needs to make some money as well, right? But this is what you can do with courses as well. You can sell your high-ticket Skool community, right, with financing options. So you can still sell it low-ticket monthly pricing for your customers, but you sell them in for a year and you get paid up front. This is like the biggest hack. This is like what people talk about in the background, like everybody in the info space who are like going all in. This is like, it's BNPL. They're trying to like, this is what they do and talk about all the time, right? Pretty powerful, right? So no monthly churn as well. This is huge. 1 yearly payment means no monthly churn, no drop-offs, no stress. We get to keep people long enough to actually help them win as well. That's another thing. You actually keep them in your course and community for a full year, right? So even like, let's say they have the same look back window, right? So they're like 3 months, it's amazing. The 4th month, they're like, dang it, like I don't know what to do now. And then month 5, 6, and 7 is medium. And then from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the final months of the year is amazing. And then they go all in and they push to get results. And now when they look back the entire year from when they joined the community, they'll be like, oh, this was amazing, right? So yes, you can keep them in there longer. You can build a community where people actually stay, and you allow them longer time to actually tie connections with other people. And then you can still renew them the next year, right? Less traffic, more profit. So we don't need millions of views. You can have a small niche specific YouTube channel. That's more than enough, because each sale is worth more. So we stay lean and highly profitable, right? So you don't need a bunch of traffic to sell the low ticket and then have the churn that you need to battle with. So you need new traffic all the time. You can have less traffic, but sell something more high ticket, and then you keep them for a full year, right? This is why YouTube is so powerful. And if you look at, I think the Skool Games event that they did, not the last one they did with Harmosi, which was before the one in LA. I think that was the last one in Vegas, I don't know, or maybe it was the one in December. I don't know. But there was one event where both Sam and Alex talked a lot about YouTube and Skool. It's like, Sam said that, like, yeah, if I would start Skool now from beginning, I would have a YouTube channel and I would have a Skool community. And if you ask me, I think it's a lot better than to have a very niche specific YouTube channel and sell annual high ticket, right? So next level model. This is what the top guys are doing behind the scenes. We provide better results, or they provide better results, get more testimonials, and build thriving long-term communities, all with less stress, right? So, and I'm saying, yeah, so like, there's people out there making a lot more money than I'm doing and selling a lot of money from info and having a lot of impact and getting great results for the clients. And I would argue that pretty much all of them are selling high ticket. So don't get me wrong with this though. I think MRR is great. And I think there's a lot of people here on Skool that MRR, it fits perfectly for them. And they can have low churn and build that business. I think it's amazing. But I think it's also right now in the state of Skool, it's very skewed towards MRR. Nobody's really thinking about annual, right? So that is why I want to make this video. I want to like make it a little bit, just break some beliefs and hope you guys are watching this, like start thinking about annual a bit. Like what are your goals, right? So this is basically what the annual funnel looks like. We have traffic, then we have like a funnel, right? Or VSL funnel where we have like a video sales letter, we generate sales calls, and we close people on sales calls for $2,500 plus per year. You don't have to charge up front. You can split it up into payments, and you can use BNPL as well, which is pretty powerful. You get paid $2,500 up front while the customer pays like $100 per month. Pretty cool, right? So let's conclude this, right? Conclusion, MRR versus ARR. So let's do an example. Let's say you have a revenue goal. You want to hit $1 million per year, and you want to do that by selling info on the Skool, right? So with MRR, if you want to get to $1 million per year, you need 2,000 sales, right? If you do ARR, you only need 286, and I'm going to have some pricing options here as well, right? So if you do MRR and your LTV is $500 because you're charging $100 per month and you have 20% churn, which I don't know what the average is on Skool, but I would say 20% churn is pretty good. I know like the best ones have like sub 10 and even sub 5. We're sub 5 now as well, but we only got there after starting selling annual, right? We had like, when we sold MRR, we had like 20% churn. So if you sell it for $100 per month, they stay for, if you have 20% churn, they stay for 5 months. So you have $500 LTV. So to be able to get $1 million, you need 2,000 sales. That's a lot of sales. If you do annual and you sell something for like $3,500 per month, maybe even more if you use BNPL, you only need 286 sales, right? So monthly sales needed. MRR, you need 166 new customers every single month. With ARR, you would only need 24, right? So it's basically a sale per day if you work for like 4 days per week, which is basically Monday to Friday, right? Maybe some days on Saturday. It's a little bit more. So it's like 25 times 4, it's 20 days. And then you work like, if you take one call per day, one sale per day, Monday through Saturday, you would basically make that, right? Instead of making 166 sales. You need a lot more traffic. And you also have churn to battle. So effort to scale. MRR needs huge traffic. And you also need to automate the sale, right? Because you need to build a funnel so that people actually buy without talking to you on the phone, right? And then you could argue, well, I can just do sales calls for low ticket. Well, then I would make the argument, if you're still making sales calls for low ticket, you might as well just try and sell some annual and high ticket as well, right? Because you're on the phone anyways. Imagine doing 166 sales for low ticket. Then you need, and you convert at like 30%, you would basically need 166 times 3, which is like 500 calls or something, close to that, which is quite a bit, right? And ARR just runs on a simple call funnel, right? Sustainability. ARR is, if you ask me, easier to run, less stressful, higher margins if you do it the right way with what I think is YouTube, and actually lets you help your clients win under a longer time frame as well. Like if you're running paid traffic to high ticket, I don't think paid traffic is the way to go. I think doing like organic, simple, small YouTube channel. There's people on YouTube right now selling high ticket stuff. They have like 4,000 subscribers and they make $1.5 million per year in profit. That's pretty cool business to run. No ad spend, maybe a little bit on retargeting, but it's like YouTube channel to high ticket offer, sell them, get amazing clients, get amazing results for them, have fun, high profit margins, don't have to worry about churn, etc., right? So what I recommend for beginners is like starting with annual, right? It's lean, profitable, it scales without burning you out. And also don't take my word for it. Like this guy that I learned from, $50 million per year in annual sales from info, or not annual, but in total, been selling over $50 million in info, said that high ticket ARR is 2 out of 10 difficulty and low ticket MRR is 10 out of 10 because you don't have to battle churn, you don't need as much traffic and all of this other stuff that I've been talking about, right? So let's summarize this video. Consider ARR. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And also, most people right now in Skool is very heavily focused on MRR. So that is why I wanted to make this video, to hopefully break this belief and shift that focus point of view. Maybe you're like, oh, maybe I should do ARR. Maybe I should do annual. Because Skool is still built for annual. You can charge up to 10K on this platform. You don't have to do MRR. You can do annual. And I would argue that annual is a lot better and a lot easier for beginners. You should 100% consider it. That's it. Take care. Let's go. Let's crush it.